fall 22. This is Child Development 202 at Santiago Canyon College. I am Professor Laney. I will be facilitating this online course, but this is our first class, so we can go over the syllabus and Canvas. So I see that we have a few people in here. Again, this meeting is completely optional. I'm going to start with the syllabus, then move over to Canvas and kind of do a walkthrough. First off, I want to apologize for this morning. The class was supposed to open at 8. It opened at more like 12:30 because I was lecturing live and I didn't get all the panic emails until about noon when I stopped lecturing live. So I apologize. It's not what I normally do. I usually have things out early, but the first day of class, sometimes there's a little bit of glitchy poo. So if that was the case, I apologize. We still have plenty of time to get all our stuff done this week. In fact, I took a couple things off the docket that I normally do require of students the first week for this reason. This class has 15 chapters and there's 12 weeks. So we do get a little crunchy. We do kind of overlap a few things, but because we do that, I am very, very, very flexible. There's only a very few things that I hold a line. The rest of the things I'm very, very flexible, almost too flexible. I've had a couple of students tell me, "You're too flexible. I thought you would be like super nice and let me like not turn in stuff." I was like, ew. This is Intro to Children from Special Populations. So this is considered an upper division class. It is a lifelong learning class. So it does qualify for the IGETC, the CSU, UC transfer. Some of you might be in this class because you are a 4-year student, but you come back to take this as a prereq. I love this class. I'm like nutty for this class. Now, some of you may have seen it listed as 205. It used to be called 205. And part of that is kind of a behind the scenes issue, but 205 and the numbers, they really don't mean a whole lot. But when we update to the newest curriculum standards, we have to share those numbers with SAC, but they weren't ready to update. So we didn't want to wait for them. We just wanted to go ahead and make our own numbers. And so when we have this class and the other 2 classes in our certificate for special needs, it's now 202, 203, 204. Yeah. And then STAC has 205, 206, 207. So we just kind of left it like that. I tell you what, they are the same class. I teach this exact class at SAC this semester. And yes, it is called 205. And I teach both of them with the updated information. So I'm not going to withhold information for anybody. That's ridiculous. So same thing with the 202, 203. They're the same as 206, 207. 206 is curriculum for children with special needs. Again, we say special populations now because it's a little bit more inclusive. And then 207 is coordinating care. So parents, teachers, paraprofessionals, therapists, SLPs, making sure everybody's on the same team. And guess what? I can teach those 206, 207, and then 202, 203, but we have a phenomenal teacher who does it, Darcy Cass. So if you are interested in getting a certificate of achievement in special needs, make sure that you take the 202 or 203 here, or the 206 or 207 over there, and is taught by the exact same professor. It's just numbers, so just ignore the numbers and just take the classes. Okay, good. Any questions so far? This is 202, it's in 12 weeks, so let's go for it. What I tell people is that you can, in my classes, kind of choose your own adventure. Now, I do have some regular items that show up in every module, and I will show you all that business. But some people are busy professionals and some people don't have time or whatever. You get to pick and choose and, take a couple of points on a hit here because we have about 1,000 points in this class. You can take about 100 points off and still get an A. So I know everybody's like, I just need the points. I just want the A. I want 100%. Nobody needs 100% to be a good teacher. No one. I guarantee you, your teachers never got 100% in all their classes. And if they did, that's awesome. But that doesn't make them the most awesome teacher. So same with you. I'd rather you guys get a B and have a really great understanding with compassion and empathy about children in this field, in these concepts, versus get 100% points or 103% points and be kind of clueless. Got it? Okay, 2 cents about me. Again, I would teach at SCC. I'm only picking up a class at Santa Ana this semester because we had some staffing issues. And of course, because this is my specialty, I said, of course, I'll help out. I used to teach there. I used to teach at IVC. I used to teach at OCC. So I'm full-time now at SCC, and we are small but mighty, hidden little gem up here. If you ever want to reach out and ask me questions about programs or classes or anything like that, I'm all for it. The best way to contact me is in the inbox in Canvas, and we'll go over that as well. So in this class, you do not have to have a hard copy of the book. I don't. I just have an electronic. I gave my book to the other teacher. I said, here you go. She's like, I need a hard copy. I said, here you go. I have an electronic copy. Again, some people like a hard copy. Some people like electronic copy. It's a pretty good book. And so both schools use it. And so again, grab that book. It's at both bookstores. I made sure, but you can get an electronic copy if that's easier for you to rent, however you need to do it. Make sure you're using like blue light glasses, because if you're reading and doing Canvas on one, everybody's eyes are just beat up right now because of COVID. So just be kind to yourself, do whatever format you need. Some people like printing stuff out. You may have printed out your syllabus and have it in your hand. That's awesome. I printed it out, and then I made some edits. So I like to print it out at home in color, but I'm on campus right now. I just have laser printer. So again, here's our mission statement. Every syllabus has to have that. I'm not going to read that to you. You guys can read that on your own time. The course information is, again, this is 100% online, meaning that we do not meet on a regular basis. However, if you need extra support, you want some student support time, like office hours, whatever you need, we can meet on Zoom, just you and me. I've met students on Zoom, I've talked on the phone, I've done Pronto, I've done WhatsApp, I've done all the stuff. So let me know whatever you need. I'm here for you. Even if you think it's a silly question, ask me. I'm here for it. I'm on Canvas first thing when I wake up in the morning. Thank you, Ariel. I'm on because I feel like I was hired by the board, but I work for you guys. So first thing I do in the morning is I look at Canvas. I don't look at my email. My emails can wait. Like, yes, I have a chair of the department and the dean and whatnot, and I'll get back to them. But I want to see what's like keeping you guys up at night. And so sometimes at like 8 in the morning, I'm answering Canvas emails before I even hop in the shower. TMI, but here we go. This is reality. Again, you guys can pick the pace of this class. I cannot extend it past 12 weeks. I do prefer this class in 16 weeks, but the same information can be understood in 12 weeks. That's kind of like the newest format. We're like, not 8 is crazy, but I've taught this class in 4 weeks. Instead of our class right now, we're going to have 4 chapters every 3 weeks. If in a 16-week class, we usually have 4 chapters every 4 weeks. So it's a little bit overlapped, but I've taught this where there was 4 chapters in 1 week. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, or 3-hour classes, 1 chapter each, and then an exam. 4 weeks done. It's crazy, but it's doable. So you guys can do this. There's a lot of foundation information that we've already learned in 107 or 110, which is child development through the lifespan, and then child, family, community. Or if you took like diversity, same thing. There's a little bit of overlap here. Here's a course description. We're learning about people from special populations. The term special needs is actually a program. It's not a person. It's not very person first language. It's not very inclusive. It's not very kind. When we say the special ed kid, that is not okay. We say the children who's in the special education program. Okay, always person first. And we'll talk that in chapter 1, which is assigned this week. Student learning outcomes are the things that I get to do in this class that helps us guide the same classes so we know we're all getting the same information. Our classes are aligned through the state of California. So if you took this class, no matter what the name, no matter what the number, if you took it at Siskiyou or Yosemite or Cuyamaca in San Diego, you're going to get these same student learning outcomes, meaning we're going to learn what different exceptionalities are, right? Different differences, because all differences are differences. Again, if you've met one person with autism, you met one person with autism, they are also different. My son is on the spectrum and people are like, are you sure he has autism? I was like, well, I'm not a doctor, but his looks real different. Even though today I was like, after school, hey, do you want a snack? No, but I'm hungry. Okay, there's solutions to every problem, right? I think he was just being a teenager, just being stubborn for the sake of stubborn. Then we talk about the role of history in society in shaping current policies. Did we always treat people with special needs well? Are we still doing it? Better, but we'll talk about that too. Collaborate with families and community members. We're going to see what else. We're going to do a public servant announcement. Is making like a little poster or a flyer or a trifold. Yeah, you guys can do this. You guys get to pick. Yeah. Here's our book. Here's the picture. Here's the ISBN numbers. Again, get it at our bookstore, especially if you are on any sort of like financial aid. Sometimes bookstores, they have different programs, like you're getting gift cards. Use it or rent it. Your call. I get mine from vitalsource.com. Vitalsource.com. That's where I get mine. It's fine. And you can print out each page. It has a copyright at the bottom. You can take notes in it, blah, blah, blah. I think I bought the lifetime access to it for like $80, but I teach it every semester. What to expect? I don't play. I don't mess around. I'm not too hard, but I'm not too easy, and somewhere in between. I do put a lot of onus on upper division students to be mature, to have good time management skills. But I'm also very flexible. If you're going to be late on an assignment, just reach out and let me know. I'm okay with that. We'll go over the late policy. There's only one thing that I don't accept late. The rest of it, yeah, you need to take a test late, I'm cool. You need to take a quiz late, that's fine. You need to turn notes in late, I'm down with that. What about a reflection every week? If that needs to be a day or two late, just tell me ahead of time. Yeah, I just get a little stubborn on the discussion boards because we all know they can be, I'm gonna try to be nice. Discussion boards can be a little extra, yeah. So I'd be nice. Okay, campus policies. We're not on campus, but I always put this in here. If you happen to come on campus to be on the bookstore and something's going down, you guys can always use it. Have campus safety. I put campus safety in my phone because again, I'm like here on campus until they lock me out like 10:30. So I always have them in there. Educational support needs. If you need extra time on a test, well, I give everybody unlimited time. If you need to take the test more than once, I give everybody unlimited chances. But if you have any other accommodations other than that, you let me know and let me know how I can support you. Yeah, we'll talk more about that because I've learned through COVID, when we're stressed, we're not learning. Thank you, Ariel. When we're stressed, we're not learning. Thank you, Nancy. Again, and guess what? If you have open books, open notes, and you're going through an exam or a quiz and you get it wrong and then you go back and take it, you know, that's how you learn. That's a learning activity, right? And here's the big deal in this entire industry. Having a book memorized and getting an A on a test is not going to help you in the moment when you have a child who's really dysregulated and really upset, right? So what you're learning in this class is in intro, is pretty high level intro, but at the same time, you're going to learn more on the job. Even if I took out every piece of information I ever had in my brain and gave you everything I ever had, you're still going to learn more on the job. I've been in the human services field for 30 years. Oh, I can't believe I'm saying that. But here's the deal. You learn as you go. The books are only a foundation. They really are. Yeah. And there's so much information out there. I've just like thrown a lot of stuff at you. There's a lot of stuff you don't have to read, but I always, again, I don't feel the need to withhold information. I'm just going to give it all. You guys can pick or choose. It's like a salad bar. Guy made a soup plantation, right? It's like you don't take everything, or maybe you just take a little bit of you're not sure, and then you go back for the stuff that makes sense, but you don't get the stuff that doesn't work for you, right? Everybody's different. Everybody's brain's different. Everybody's career is different. Everybody's path is different. Collect the information as you go. I have a lot to share, but you don't have to, I'm not going to test you on some random TED talk I put in. All my tests and quizzes come right from the book. Every once in a while, somebody's like, well, I don't need the book. I'm good. I'm smart. That's cool. I did that too. Sometimes that worked out for me. Sometimes it didn't. So just make your choices, right? Okay, so equity and non-discrimination policy, very, very serious. If somebody's harassing you, even online. Did you know, as the state of California, if you are a student, even if somebody's harassing you at work, you are still protected under Title IX. I'm very serious about this. I used to be a social worker. I'm on the campus care team. We talked about 5150s today and harassment today in a committee meeting. So again, if somebody's buggering you, even if it's a neighbor, because you are enrolled in this institution, you are protected. And I don't just mean women against men. I mean women against women and women against men and men against men and men against, like, women can be aggressive. We've all seen it. Okay. So just let me know, reach out. I'll get you plugged in. We have a really good system here. Additional resources for students. We do have a hawk's nest situation here. As a social worker, it was hard to get people groceries. And I just saw them unloading boxes of eggs today. I was like, dang, I just made $6 for some eggs. All you need is a student ID. That's it. You don't, Don't even really need the card, just showing them something that has your name number on it. It's open a couple days a week. Go ahead and click over to those hyperlinks. And I just saw Giovanni today too. Awesome dude. Go do it. I'm also considering, like, I have a bunch of old binders and donating them over there. And then I'm going to ask them if they'll take clothes. I have old suits and stuff. Like, I have so much to donate, and I'm hoping they can pass it on. I'm so happy that we have that here. Add drop procedures. I put these 2 lines in here for class participation because I think I do have it around here. The last day to drop this class and get your money back is when? Can somebody look that up and share that either in the chat or out loud? Because here's the deal. If you see my syllabus and my Canvas and you're like, this lady is bat as crazy, I am not taking her class. Fair. Go get your money back, right? Let me see if I have it. I think I do. I want to see what you guys have. Anything in the chat? Okay, you know where you find it? You find it in Web Advisor, where you log on to the class. I think I have it. Hold on. 110. Yeah. Hold on. Yep, I have it. Let's see what you guys got. Here's the deal. I already told you I have a teenager and I don't give him all the answers either. So if you're going to Web Advisor, you literally click on the name of the class where it has the title, description, course number, section number. It gives you a start date. Today's the 19th.
I got the last day to drop with a W is November 15th, and the last day to drop without a W, October 2nd.
Okay, I am looking right now. It's a little different.
Ooh, this
yeah,
is
but
yeah.
To be fair, I'm looking at 202. I mean, I'm looking at 205.
Oh, I'm looking at 202.
Pull it up here because you're close, but I want to confirm because I would hate you guys to miss that.
Yeah, of course.
Right. It's like, right. So I don't know if you can see it, but I'm pulling up Web Advisor. And now I see a little bit different. I'm not sharing exactly that screen. You should still only be seeing the syllabus, right?
Yes.
Yes, thank you. Okay, so I'm gonna do, and then I will pull it up and then I will share the screen. So fall 202. Okay, let's see if the numbers are up. Oh yeah, okay, they're different than the SAC class. So you are actually accurate, Ariel. So okay. Let me do this. Let me do a new share. I want to have it in the chat. Okay, Nancy says drop 11:15. Yes, with a W. Without a W, 10-2. Last refund 9/25. Yeah, let me pull this up. I'm gonna do a new share right here. There we go. Let's do this one. All right, let me do this one. So yes, you are correct. I'm telling you right now, I'm looking at 205. It is different. So 202, this is our class, SCC. Our start date, I'll make it a little bit bigger. Start date is today. Oops. Our start date is today. The last day to add. So I typically don't add people past the first week because it's a little nutty in here. And then to get a W, see, that goes all the way to November 15th, which is like about 4 weeks before the semester. Oh, I don't do that. But you know, sometimes people want a W instead of an F. I always tell people they can end up being the same if you don't take the class again. So please do that. And then to the drop date without a W, that means it's 100% an F. Oh, and I'm sorry, you drop it and then it just erases. It just erases October 2nd. So that's the same day that I can add people. And then when you get a refund, that's like in 6 days. It's okay. It's okay. I get that. But listen, I'm here every semester. I just got the full-time position here after a 4-year tenure process. Yeah, my probation was 4 years. It was like a 4-year college degree. No joke. I had to run through some fire hoops. I ain't going anywhere for like 20 years. Right. However, I'm going to tell you, we might be transitioning the book in about 2 years. So I tell people, if you own the book, take me again next semester. Even if you've submitted a few things and you're like, forget it, I don't need the refund, I just need to walk because you know something happened to my dog or whatever. I get it. Keep the book, keep your notes, whatever you submitted, you can resubmit as long as I'm on the same book. But eventually, I know we are going to the online educational resources, the free books. We're eventually moving towards that. And I'm going to give it maybe two more years, maybe, before we switch over to that. There's a statewide committee to make that book happen. So the books are free. Currently, our Core 8 classes are free books. As of next semester, every of our Core 8 classes for our majors, 107, 110, 108, 111 A and B, 116 A and B, 112, 221, and 298 are all going to be free books. So again, these are aligned through the state of California, and so you could take it anywhere. But this class, since it's not in our Core 8, it's an extra class. It's an upper division class. I know it's being developed. I volunteered to be on that statewide committee. So I give it a couple years. And if I'm on that committee, it's going to be pretty awesome. It's going to be badass because I won't let it be anything other than that. Fair? Okay, good. So if you have the book, but you need to step out, come back next semester, give yourself no longer than a year, just to make sure that the book's still relevant. Because did you hate that when they have old books and they make you buy it and you only read 4 pages? It's not what we do here. It's a pretty current book. We will read nearly every page. I had a student complain about that one time. She makes us read like the whole book. I was like, for that amount of money? Yeah, you want to read the whole book. Why waste your time, right? So let's go back. What else in here and there? Also, the scavenger hunt says 4 units of class, but we're actually 4 units. We actually do have 4 units. And I will go over that. We actually have 4 units. We have the first unit, which is 1, 2, 3, 4. Then we have 5, 6, 9, 11. That's 2. Then we have 7, 8, 10, 15. That's 3. Then we have 12, 13, 14. 4 units, for sure. Trust me. I don't have any classes with 3 units. I wish it's 3 units per 3 weeks per unit. Yeah. So we do have a scavenger hunt, and that's going to give you the answer right there, which is fine. I'm down with that. These are learning. Okay, cool. So let's go back to the syllabus. Oh my gosh, it says child development 112 on there. That's hilarious. It's not child development 112. That's in settings. Let me fix that, but it won't come up on yours if you don't see it like that. Okay. So resources for students, go get those groceries. Even if you don't eat them, share them with your family. Your family supports you, right? Support your family. Got these filled in here. Academic honesty. All that says right there, don't cheat. Trust me. I'm on like that committee where they talk about all the students who cheated. And I was like, please don't be one of my students. But I have to fill out a report, and you have to talk to the dean and the vice president. We actually have lawyers at work here. It's really embarrassing. Please don't do it. It goes on your transcript. And then when you transfer or you apply, they see and they don't take you. Not worth it. Plus, this class is not a research class. I might have you do some research. It's not the end of the world, right? But I also have an APA workshop, so you know how to cite. If you mess up, I don't freak out. We're all learning. APA is weird. That's fine. But we have to start somewhere. And if you are transferring, they will expect APA every time. So just if you're not sure, cite your source. That's it. If you're not sure, cite your, and yes, you can cite our book. I would almost say cite it every time, just in case, because that's all we're really learning from. I'm not going to expect you to go elsewhere. But if there's a case where you do need to, yeah, cite your source. And I will walk you guys through it. We have, again, a workshop, free workshop from the library. It's super awesome. It's all videos and like 2 question quizzes and 4 question quizzes. Hilarious. Okay, so course policies, how to contact me. Best one is Canvas inbox. And this is why. I got a couple emails from you guys today. My regular email was fine. Class head was like locked still, totally fine. But once it comes into Canvas, it actually goes to Canvas and my email. So like for some reason, like again, I hit Canvas first, and then I get like a backup, which is kind of cool because like every once in a while, I don't know if you guys get it where you're like answering emails, but then you didn't scroll down. So then I'll get a backup in my regular email. After I answer Canvas, I go to my email, and if I see another one, or if you responded by the time I moved over, I can respond there. But Canvas will record every email you send me and record every email I send you. Yeah. And I put that out there because I've had students go, well, you never responded. I'm like, I have like a little log right here that says I did. So same thing. I'm here for you guys. I don't really like to get in the back and forth like that. That's why I'm like a little mental about it. Like I try to answer you guys within the day or the next day. Yeah. On the weekends, I still do look at my Canvas. but not like the whole time. And like Friday, like I tell people, students, like Monday through Friday, 8 to 8. I try to like cut it at 8 and lay down and, you know, put my feet up and play on my phone and just relax. But like last night I was on until midnight. So it happens. It happens. But let's not, you know, let's not go crazy. I used to give my cell number out, and if in instances I will, right? But only if we need it. It's all good. I've even met at Starbucks to chit chat. It's all good. Attendance and participation. I do not take attendance because we are online, but your participation shows up in Canvas. It shows me your minutes, shows me your hours. It shows me how many pages you've accessed, how many pages you haven't accessed, how long it's been since you last accessed stuff, how your participation and access compares to the rest of your class. Not compares to me, compares to the rest of the students. Yeah, and I'm not saying I'm pitting you guys against each other. I don't do that, and I don't grade and say like, oh, well, you know, Sarah did this and, you know, Giovanni didn't do that. No, but I will reach out in a 12-week class by the end of this week and be like, hey, yo, I didn't see anything from you. What's your plan? Right? I got somebody mad at me one time. You can't, and I said, listen, you have 8 minutes logged in this class. It's been a week, and it was an 8-week class. It was faster. You have 8 minutes logged. She's like, and I said, it doesn't look like you're planning to pass this class. She goes, how do you know that? You can't say that. And I said, listen, I'm doing this for a long time. I know, I can tell when somebody's got the good habits in place. And I get it. Sometimes it's hard to get started. I get that too. We're like not at the halfway or the beginning. It's weird. But I'm that teacher who's like, hey, it's week 6 and we're halfway through and you have less than 50% in this class. So what's up? Just let me know what your plan is. Some people are really good at catching up. Some people, not so much. But I don't know that about you. So just, you know, figure it out and make your own plan. I will support you in your own plan because only you know you. Yeah. And I'll show you how to prioritize points in this class. I'll give you hacks. I'll tell you how to make it right. I give extra credit here and there, everywhere. I love it. I love giving extra points. It's like throwing, you know, Easter candy around, whatever, Mardi Gras candy. Submitting assignments, everything's on Canvas. I had this all set up before COVID. I was trying to tell the other professors, trust me, just get it all online, save it a tree or 1,000, and everything's like easily graded and standardized when it's on Canvas. Grading, I do a top-down grading policy, meaning I assume everybody wants all the points. And I go, okay, it's a 10-point essay. I'm assuming this person, you know, like Carmen wants 10 points. And then I go, oh, but I asked for 3 paragraphs and she gave me 2. So maybe this more is like an 8. Oh, I see that she didn't answer the question properly. So maybe it's like a 7 or 6. You see what I'm saying? I start at the top and go down. I know other professors sometimes are like, well, show me what you got. Because I start with a 0 in my head and you have to prove to me you get a, it's like, no, that's not right. No, I'm a positive person thinking that everybody wants to be here in a positive way. So why think of it otherwise? Again, I usually get like 10 or 20% if you like go over and above. Nancy, thank you. But I don't like, you know, if it's a 10-point assignment and you like give me so much, like overdo it. I don't super reward that because I think sometimes people are just making themselves anxious and we have plenty of anxiety in life. We don't need any more. If there is an error on a quiz, a test, a typo, anything, if I turned it on the wrong day, shut it off, it's weird, blah, blah, blah. Trust me, Canvas does weird things because every time I write the class and it copies over, sometimes Canvas is like, oh, I'm going to change your quiz answers. It's like, thank you very little. I do go every week and I look down every quiz and I just make sure. But even if I hit submit or edit or whatever, sometimes there's a little thing. I have a little bit of OCD. I like things nice, but I also don't expect perfection from myself or you guys. A 90% an A, right? Yeah. So when I mess up or I just go, yeah, mess ups happen. Is it still a good production? And did I still put it a good? Yeah, okay. Doesn't have to be 107%. Doesn't have to be 99%. Doesn't. Life is not like that because perfection is elusive. It is a smoke dragon. Like, no. Just trust me, your students are never going to be like, yeah, I don't want to be in your class because you got like an 89.5 and like in your class, so you're not really it. Did you ask me what my GPA was? No. Ask me later. Are you asking me if I failed a class? Statistics. Oh yeah, whoops. Yeah, your teachers aren't perfect. But again, we are looking for reality. We're not looking for perfection. This Community just wants you to be present and have maybe some ideas rolling back in your head. Okay, I need to use this language and I need to, be present and look at them and not talk for them and things like that. Those are the things that are more important than an A or 100%, right? Late policy. This is weird for people because I'm a little weird. We've already established, you've known me for like a half an hour. Okay. I don't take points off for late work. I don't take points off for late work. I don't take points off for late work with one exception, the discussion boards. I get a little rigid about the discussion boards. I do. So we will go through all the expectations on all these things. But for me, the discussion boards are due Sunday, but by Wednesday at 8, if you haven't put in your first chunk, it's a 0. And then the Sunday date's 0 all the way. It's only 15 points. It's not going to make or break your grade. Again, you can lose 100 points in this class and still get an A. So that's like 8 discussion boards you can blow off. That means you're guaranteeing the rest of your points are like amazing, right? Yeah, and I do give extra credit. So some people are like, I don't have time for discussion board. That's cool. Because here's the deal. If we're not doing it the week that it's assigned, it's a waste of everyone's time. It really is. It's not a discussion. It's like a Twitter post from like last month. Waste. I'm not doing that. That's not what I'm here for. You're here. I'm here. We're going to make this awesome together. Yeah. But let's not drag it out or be lame about it. If you're not going to give it your all, just skip it, move on. Trust me. There's plenty of ways to make up points in this class, and to do a terrible discussion board is it's a waste of everyone's time. So I will keep repeating this. If you want your quiz to be late, I'm cool. Let me know ahead of time. If you want your notes to be late, I'm cool. Let me know ahead of time. I had a girl who yesterday said, I turned in my first part of my discussion board, but I just got into a car accident. I'm not going to make the 8 o'clock on Sunday. Are you okay giving me extra time? I was like, sure, absolutely. Are you okay? She's like, I'm fine. I'm a little shaken up or whatever. I was like, yeah, take an extra day. She's like, she got home and she was like, yeah, I might take an extra day or 2. It's like, no problem. Yeah, because that's life. That's life. So again, I don't take points off for late work. I don't take points off for late work. I don't take points off for late work. The only thing I am rigid about is the discussion boards. And then the very last day of class, I cannot extend it. That's an equity issue. If everybody else had 3 months for this class and you got 3 months in a day, that's not fair, right? I get super flexible with like a couple of parameters. Yeah. So now you know what kind of mom I am. I'm like, yes, you may have an electric guitar and an amp in your room. Keep it low. And that's why I'm not home right now, because you would be hearing that. Yeah. 3 guitars, 2 keyboards, a drum set. Yeah. I'm like, not doing that. Yeah. Not doing that. Let's just be honest. I'd be yelling over my shoulder the whole time. We're not doing that. I'd be like, I'm in class. And he'd be like, it's low. And I'd be like, no, it's not. So let's just cut our losses. And I come here and he plays there. All right. So every week, and I'll show you what this looks like in Canvas. Every week we have outlines. I am super flexible in the format of outlines. Now I know, again, because we're upper division, people know what outlines are. In my new class, in my young classes, people don't know what those are. Outlines, notes, you're going to hear me say the same thing. Take notes however you want. If you want to handwrite them, cool. If you want to type them, awesome. If you want to do a graphic design or like a mind map and it's a 1-page thing with like in a lotus with a tree and like doodles, I'm cool with that too. I will show you what that looks like in the module. I give you hyperlinks on examples. I give you a rubric. Do it your way, but do it enough. Because when you type, it's like smaller, right? But when you handwrite, it's bigger. So usually like 2 pages for a type one and like 4 pages for a handwrite one. So if you're handwriting in your journal, just take a picture of it on your phone, upload it. I'm cool. Yeah, because the way you process information is different than how I process information. I'm like a Roman numeral or like bullet outliner, but I have, in a really boring meeting that I've been in multiple times, started doodling, and that was kind of fun. So you could switch up the format every week. That's cool. I'm down with that. The discussion boards, I do call them the activity discussion boards because we're doing something a little bit active. Not crazy. I'm not going to go make you like, meet a stranger or whatever. Sometimes like every once in a while it's weird like that, but no, not really. Or I call it theory to practice. We learn what's in the book and then like, hey, let's put it into practice. It's very opinion based. I want to know what your thoughts are. But again, I ask you to put in a main piece by Wednesday at 8, and then you're going to respond to 2 peers. But I also added re-respond, like loop back. Somebody asks you a question, you didn't answer them back. That's not a conversation. Because we're online, we're trying to replicate a conversation. Again, not like an Instagram feed that says like, here, this is what I had for brunch, and then people just like post it and walk away. That's great. When like your cousin says, oh my gosh, I was totally craving chili Achilles, you don't just like leave them hanging. You be like, oh, it was so awesome. Let's go back next weekend. A conversation between people. So 2 and 2. That's why I'm saying if you can't do that between Wednesday and Sunday, just call it. That's cool. That's fine. Okay, so personal reflection journal. At the end of every chapter module, there's like, hey, tell me your 2 cents. I know what the book says. I know what the quiz says. I know what the notes say. Been there, done that, read it, teach it. I want to know how you connect to the material. Now, some of the chapters can be kind of sad when we talk about medical issues or children who are deaf and blind. It's like, it weighs heavy on your heart. I want to hear it. So our journals, and I'll show you exactly what every single one looks like. Our journals are in 3 parts, 5 sentences. What did I learn? What stuck out to me today? I didn't know that kids who are preemies have poor eyesight, something called retinopathy of prematurity. That's why my little cousin wore glasses when he was 6 months old, right? Second part is find something else that's out there. Because listen, our book, and I don't have all the information, but there's TikToks, there's YouTube shorts, there's TED Talks, there's articles, there's journals, whatever floats your boat that connects to the chapter. Right? Or you, let's say we're talking again about eyesight and you're like, okay, well, I found a school that actually that specializes in pediatric optometry. That counts. I'm going to see what's getting your juices flowing. And that's just 5 sentences. The last part, so 3 parts of the journal. What did I learn? What else is out there? And how am I going to use this in my future? I'll give you a hint. Don't say I'm not going to use it in my future. I'll give you a hint. Some people who want to be at SLP are going to be like, oh, I'm going to understand. Like if I have a young client with glasses, I can maybe assess for retinopathy of prematurity or just ask the mom, was this child premature? Right? And that just shows you that maybe they are behind on developmental milestones. So tell me, I might use this in the future, or if I have my own children, or if I don't want children and I want to be an auntie or an uncle, I might use this, right? Because some of you have children in your family who have some things going on. I do, right? So again, every week, every module, we have these 3 things. Outlines. I have outlines due by Friday. Can you, between Monday and Friday, put together an outline or set of notes? Yes. The discussion board, Wednesday, Sunday. The journal, Sunday. Again, why would I ask you about your reflection midweek, Sunday? Now, I will show you our calendar, but I'm going to give you a hint right now. All of my assignments are due at 8 p.m. All of my assignments are due at 8 p.m. All of my assignments are due at 8 p.m. And this is why. You have other classes, and usually your professors will say 11:59. Do my stuff first. Or do their stuff by 11:59 and then shoot me an email that says, I'm going to be late. I'm going to turn my thing in tomorrow. I'm going to say, oh, okay, that's cool. It's not a discussion board. I'm good with that. Don't stay up so late. Don't stay up so late. Just don't. You don't need to do it, right? Especially a tired brain is not a learning brain. And being behind on your sleep is cumulative. So like I said, I'm a mom. I'm trying to care about you guys, like you're not overdoing it too. But we have 2 assignments in this class, a film analysis, and I give you a list of films, and a public service announcement. That's it. We have 3 months, 2 assignments. You guys can do it. I promise. I had some other assignments and I wrapped them into a discussion board. So you guys can do it. You're just doing it in a different format. I think it's fair. These match up to the student learning outcomes at the beginning. Assessments, fancy term for test. In Canvas, they're all called quizzes. They don't call them quizzes and tests. They just call them quizzes. But I do 10-point quizzes at the end of each chapter. There's 15 of those. I also, again, I said multiple chances, no time limit, and none at all. But I also drop the lowest quiz at the end of the semester. and I do this for a number of reasons. It's 10 points. It's not going to make or break your grade. But again, let's say we have, heaven forbid, we were in Puerto Rico right now, over 1 million people don't have electricity. Stuff happens. Stuff happens. Okay. In the fall, we know that our weather gets a little extra around here. So I'm just giving us a little buffer. Just giving us a buffer. Because I've had people go, I missed the quiz, I need to drop the class. Stop. Not in this class. Every once in a while, you get a professor who's like, if you miss one quiz, you're going to fail my class. You're like, not here. Not here. This is child development. We should be called human development. I'm developing you as a human as you move through this class. I'm not here to throw a book at you. This is not prison. This is not the 4-year university. Let's put it in perspective. We are learning together. We are co-creating in our universe together. But at the same time, it can't be too easy, can't be too hard, somewhere in the middle. But a little bit of choose your own venture here, right? It's a cool thing. It's hard to wrap your mind around it, that this flexibility can be a little too flexible sometimes. So always ask me. I will field about 10 more questions about the late policy. People are like, oh, but I don't know if I could. You're fine. Just not the discussion board. Yeah. Exams. I have one exam at the end of each unit. Each unit is four chapters. So except for the last one, there's 3. So unit 1 is 4 chapters. Unit 2 is 4 chapters. Unit 3 is 4 chapters. Last unit is 3 chapters, which is nice because at the end, like near Christmas, everyone's like going nuts. It's nice to have like one less. Okay. But on that format, I even put it here. I have true, false, multiple choice, matching, some drop downs. I do all these different formats because certain people are good at one format, but not good at the other. Always a 10-point essay question, asking your opinion. Don't need research. You may cite our book. And then a 5-point extra credit essay. And it's kind of backs up the first essay. Now, the people who need the extra credit usually don't do it. The people who don't need the extra credit usually do it. So you can walk away with a couple of extra points on your essay, a couple of extra points on your extra credit essay. With out of 50 points, you can have like a 57. I've given a 60 out of a 50 on an exam. So what if those extra 10 points or 5 points covered up the discussion board you blew off a couple weeks ago? That's what I'm saying. You guys are okay. You guys are okay. Portfolio is extra credit. I do have module feedback survey. That's if you want to do it every 3, it's 3 points. It's no big deal. Portfolio again is like LinkedIn. I will roll that out maybe next week. It's 40 points, extra credits, a lot. But it's kind of like, yeah, like I said, LinkedIn, you don't have to do it. It's just helping you get ready for your future career. And then I do have things like maybe volunteering at an event, or like watching, there's a guest speaker, for something like that, or there, there's an event or whatever. It could be 5 points here, 10 points here, and then you just write me like a 2-page paper, prove that you were there, prove that you watched it, blah, blah, blah. It's no big deal. No, people don't normally jump in on those, but they're there for you if you need them. Course points. I calculated all these guys a couple of times, and look, this guy is blocked off. It says, I don't love studying. I hate studying. Learning. I love learning. So yeah, I'll see if I can fix that. So again, our outlines, we have 10 points times 15 chapters, 150. Again, maybe you're getting a few extra points on 10. Maybe you got an 8 this week. Big deal, right? It's all about averaging, right? Discussion boards, 15 points at 15 chapters. Reflection journals, 15 points at 15 chapters. 2 assignments at 50, 10 quizzes at 15, 4 exams at 50, and then this drop lowest. I literally dropped the lowest quiz, the lowest discussion board, the lowest journal, and the lowest outline. So you get extra 50 points at the end of the class. People normally forget about that, but you'll see it on your grade sheet. There's no date on it. Pretty straightforward. Our class is pretty straightforward. This is the calendar I was talking about. Whew. So it is a little funky because, again, I struggled with 4 chapters in 3 weeks. That's hard for me. And I know but I don't know how else to do it. I really don't. I can't bump out a chapter. They're all important. I'm going to tell you this first section, it can be a little dry because it's talking about policy and law and the IEP and stuff like that. But again, I have a ton of resources in there. I have videos. Not only I mentioned in the earlier email last week, the video that I captured is when I had a co-teacher who actually is in a special needs preschool, and she has a current credential for early childhood education, very rare credential. And so she gives you her expert opinions in there. So I'm lecturing, she's lecturing. It's amazing. It's like better than something I could do. Like she's amazing. I haven't been with the kids in a long time because I've been doing this. That's the hardest part. You get older, you get this awesome job, but then you're like removed from, I used to do ABA and ABA supervision and things like that, but I'm not with them all the time. I now have ABA workers in my house for my own kid. So I've shifted into this position, but I do miss it. I miss the kiddos. So let's look at the first week. Okay. This is us right here. Welcome to class. We're going all of this stuff. We do have chapter 1 this week, which is kind of a lot, but this is how it goes with a 12-week class. I am super flexible with anything except the discussion board. So if you get one thing in this week and the rest of the stuff is late, there's 2 discussion boards this week. One is an intro, just tell us who you are, pictures and whatnot, and I'll go through all of it in Canvas. And the other one is like, okay, chapter 1. If put right now on your calendar, 8 p.m. Wednesdays, that is your day. Now I know you guys have work schedules and whatnot. Figure it out. I do a visual schedule. I don't know if you're going to be able to see it. Yeah, this is my visual schedule. It is a lot of personal information on there, but you're going to see different pieces, different classes. The blue stuff is my son. Like we wake up, we shower, I do that class. I do the light blue is grading, right? So I do it by 30-minute increments, 15-minute increments for the entire week. And I'm pretty spot on. I mean, there's times where like I had to miss one meeting to go to another meeting today, but same thing. So however you do it in your calendar, on your phone, whatever, I do coordinate all these dates on Canvas in the calendar feature. But because it's like 4 into 3, it's a little funky. So let's do it this way. I'm considering our class rollout this week. I just rolled out the prep module and I just rolled out module 1, just these 2, but I'm going to roll out the rest on Monday, meaning it's not always due that following week. So if I roll out on this next Monday, chapter 2, 3, and 4, 2, 3, and 4 are not due that week. 2 kind of is, 3 sort of is, but 4 isn't. But I'm looking at this as a unit, meaning, remember how I said don't be late on discussion boards? I'm going to be super flexible right now. Your Wednesday cutoff for that discussion board after this week. I want you guys to get them in this week as fast as you can. Not as fast, but like Wednesday to Sunday. Let's get that first weekend. But after that, look at this. I put a 9/5 cutoff, meaning the last Wednesday of the unit is the last time that you can get a discussion board in. So I'm letting you be a little bit late here and here. You see what I'm saying? I normally would say, here's chapters. Let's say there was 2 weeks here. I would say on this Wednesday, you're going to do chapter 2 discussion board. And then by Sunday, you're going to do this stuff to respond to peers, respond to the peers who already reached out to you, do the reflection, and do the quiz. That would be done in 1 week. Since we have a little bit of overlap, I'm going to let you turn all this stuff in by the end of the unit. It's a little funky. But if you want to stay at a clip, at a pace, and get these things done without getting it all bunched up, then do it kind of how I said. Now, next week, then it means looks like there's 2 chapters together. What if you did all of chapter 2 and started on chapter 3 next week? That's what I would suggest. But there are many, many classes where I have to do 2 chapters in 1 week. I just overlap the middle 2 of that unit. So we have 4, I overlap these 2. If you want to overlap these 2, cool. If you want to overlap these last 2, I'm cool with that. Like, we're good. But I just did the middle. That's all I could do. Because it's hard. I can't cut out any chapters. But once you get into the pace or the setup, you'll get it'll be easier as you go. So now let's keep rolling down. So that was our first unit. At the end of every week, there's a quiz. It's 10 points. Listen, I saw somebody walking down the main street at Disneyland taking a quiz on their phone. My stuff's not super hard. I pull it exactly from the book. If for some reason it's not exactly right, you let me know. I will figure it out. Okay. Here's your unit 1 exam. That covers all 4 chapters. You have 3 weeks to get that all studied up. Yeah. And before that happens, I'll kind of run us through to, give us a little feel for what to expect. Now we have unit 2. See here, I put weeks 1 to 3. Now weeks 4, 5, 6. We have unit 2, which is speech and language impairments, learning disabilities, intellectual disabilities, and health disabilities. Now, note, I do go out of order. Why would we put physical and health disabilities towards the back? Duh. No. Speech and language, very common. You're going to see this in very young children. Then we talk like this. Little babies who don't know how to read. We don't know if they have a learning disability yet, but they might have a speech and language, right? When we get into school age, and we're like, oh, this one might have speech and language and a learning disability. But we didn't know because she wasn't reading. And now that we've introduced reading and we're having some troubles, perhaps there's an LD in there. It's your biggest category. That's the biggest number of students who receive services. And guess what? I put intellectual disabilities up here because it's pretty common. That's where Down syndrome shows up, or lower IQ, or maybe there was a head injury or things like that. These things show up there. So I put these together. They're more common. They're more, to me, it's easing in to the book, meaning, we know what speech impairments are. We kind of know what learning disabilities are. We kind of know what intellectual disabilities are. We used to call it mental retardation. We don't do that anymore. And then physical and health disabilities. That's like, hey, was somebody born with a partial hand? Or did they have to have a leg amputated? Or do they have asthma, diabetes? So these things are pretty common in our society, all these 4. That's why, and I'll give you hints and I'll remind you, hey, next week we're not doing chapter 7, we're doing chapter 9. I'm cool about that. I don't think it's fair. If I'm going out of order because it makes sense to me, and I think that's how the book should be. They didn't ask me, but I'll remind you guys. Then we go back in order and we follow the order all the way out, ish. So then this is the unit that everybody loves. This is the one. This is one people usually take this class for. I want to learn more about autism. Okay, well, here it is. Okay, the reason I put these 4 together is that oftentimes they show up together in the same child. ADHD. We all know somebody has ants in the pants, And guess what? Sometimes it's just normal for boys just to have more action. It's fine. Then we have autism spectrum disorders, or ASD. Again, you can have both of these things at the same time, because my boy has those. Emotional and behavior disorders. These are the ones where your kids are maybe super duper dysregulated due to trauma. And I will have a guest speaker come in and talk about that too. If I have an extra day where I can do a guest speaker, I'll do it like this. I'll put it on a day that the guest speaker is comfortable with. If you guys can make it, great. If you can't, I'll record it and post it. But I know your guys' schedule is different. I can't line up everybody in class. It's not going to happen. Even on a class where I said I take attendance, not everyone's in the show. That's fine, right? Then I put the gifted and talented kids in here too. Because guess what? You can have all these 4 at the same time. Yeah, so again, every week the module opens, you're gonna have notes, discussion board, reflection, quiz, every week. Yeah, the discussion board topic is a little bit different every week. Yeah. Then the very last unit is a little bit smaller because there's only 3, but these are the very rare ones. And I don't mean that deafness and hard of hearing or the deaf community is rare, but they sometimes go to different schools. Whereas you're gonna see a kid with ADHD in a general education setting, these students here who have low vision and blindness or are part of the deaf community, they may end up going to different schools. If that's what you want to end up majoring in and do that, that's awesome. This is your intro to that. Then over here, it's the other low incidence disabilities. That means kids who are deaf and blind or have other very, very rare. So I try to go from the most common to the most rare, right? And then again, look at our assignments. I only put assignments due on Saturdays, film analysis. I'll walk you guys through it. PSA is due towards the end, and then any extra credit. Notice I do the week before the semester ends. Well, I didn't put any cutoffs here. I'll remind you guys. Right here, 12/11. This does not, I cannot extend this date. 11:59, our class goes 11:59. Even though I say 8 o'clock is due, just because, Canvas can get a little fussy at the end, right? That happened. I think it happened last semester, even with our grades, we're posting grades. I posted grades a day early because if I didn't, the entire system shut down and all the professors were screwed. And I was like, oh, I got mine in a day early. Same things happens to you guys. So yeah, look at this. Exam at the end. Exam at the end. And I never put something due on the same time that there's an exam. So this is usually the week before. Yeah. So this is our syllabus. Are you ready, guys, to go look at Canvas? You guys had access to Canvas today, so I'm curious to see if you were able to. Oh, let's see. I missed chat here. Oh, RBT, yay! Oh, Digna, awesome. I missed the scavenger hunt. Let me look at that. We're gonna look at it right now. So I'm assuming you guys know how to get into Canvas. Let me do a new share so you can see my whole screen. So if you don't know how to get into Canvas, I'm sure you do because it's an upper division class. Click here on Canvas. You could also type in this vanity right here, our SCC instructor.com. Right. And so if you ever have questions on Canvas, I am a Canvas ambassador for the campus. I know a lot of stuff, but I can tell you right now, I don't see what you guys see. I don't have the student view all the time. These are all my classes. And here's us. I made us 202 purple because I figured SCC is blue, SAC is red, put it together, it makes purple. And here's SAC. So yes, I am teaching 6 classes, and then in the middle of October, I will be switching this one to B and then doing 1 more class. So I will be having, which is fine. Well, it's technically 8, but one is an A and a B, 8 weeks, 8 weeks. I love what I do, love my job, and I try to do the best that I can. Sometimes, so anytime where you see this cross out here, this is what I see, and you guys won't see it. Hold on, somebody's buzzing me. My son doesn't have a cell phone, so now I have Mikey's friend from school. I won't answer. We'll figure it out. So you guys will only see this thing. I can do what's called student view, and it turns kind of pink around the outside. So yeah, see how you guys don't see all this stuff at the bottom. And here's your to-do list. Awesome. You can look at the course stream, course calendar, and then the course notifications. This is your to-do list right here. Now, it looks like a lot, but it's not. If you see this right here, this little icon, it's an announcement. Just read it. You're good. Once you read it, it comes off your to-do list. You can even do that. I already read it. Why is it there? If you see 11:59 right here, that means it's a hey, read me. It's not something that's due. It's not an assignment. I put a hey, read me so people don't blow it off. I'm assuming this to-do list makes people just a little bit anxious enough to do it. So if you've read it and it didn't come off, just click off of it, right? But guess what? These are all the pre-prep. See how I pre-prep. I'll walk you guys through the module. Then when you see something like this, Unit 1, I do an introduction to Unit 1. Then we do all this different stuff. I did different due dates, but so let me do this. I'm going to click off the student view, and so I can show you what it looks like for me. Again, some of you might use the calendar, some of you might not. I do set it up. I'm pretty specific about the calendar, so that's a different class. Let's look at us 202. Yeah, I'm gonna ignore this. 202 is us, purple. So look at this is us this week. So hilarious. You probably got in trouble. You're not allowed to talk anymore. Okay, so today's the 19th. So I just put all these 11:59s on here. Hey, read me's, and we'll go through the whole module. Make sense? And then tomorrow I just put out, actually I usually go like this, 1.1. Oh, it looks like a double. Let's read before. Oh, chapter 1 module. Yeah, so chapter 1 module is a 1.1, but prep 1.1 is a little different. So I usually put all that stuff on Mondays. Again, you can read it all on Wednesday. I don't care. You can read it all on Thursday. It doesn't matter. Right? So if it says 11:59, it's just a read me. Because once you click on it once, it disappears. It'll still be on the calendar, but it'll disappear off your to-do list. So then look at on Sunday, we have all this stuff due, and I will walk you guys through it. And then then we start into chapter 2, 2.1, 2.2. Ooh, I got to move this guy down. Oh yeah, so I overlap chapter 2 and chapter 3. Look at that. Now again, if you want to bump off chapter 3 one more week, that's cool. You know, you have one more week in the unit to bump it off. That's cool. But this is a hey, read me date. Read it. It's fine. you'll get an idea. These four first chapters kind of go together because it's all history, the laws, how did we get here? How are we helping people? What is the expectation? Why does our country do this sort of thing? And then I look at outline 2, outline 3. Yeah, due Friday. If you need to turn that in Saturday, no big deal. Email me. So then let's just look ahead. Again, intro, read the stuff. Look at this, 2, 3, 2 and 3 will be due here. Here's 4, 4 is due here. 5 introduces here. Ooh, let's put this back here. Look at this. Ooh, I love the drag and drop, by the way. Here's the outline, and here, I put that on the wrong. I love the drag and drop, love it. So chapter 4 is introduced here. Here's your outline, and then everything is due on Sunday. Chapter 5 is introduced here, outlines due here, the rest of it does on Sunday, right? So I did 5 and 6 together, right? So 4 is by itself, 5 and 6 is together, 9 is separate. So these are the things. If these dates are wrong, just let me know. I just drag and drop it like that. I want to make sure that they're good. So I set it up to match the syllabus. So the first chapter of the unit has its own week. The second 2 are together, and the last one has its own week. That makes sense? That's the only thing I could think of. But again, you can do it in a little bit different as long as it's all wrapped up in the same unit. Make sense? Okay, cool. Cool. Jump in with any questions. Let's go to the actual class. I'll show you how it's all set up. I've been teaching this class for not quite 10 years, but I have a lot of things set up. In fact, again, you won't see everything here. Look, here's mine to do. So 4 people did the intro to discussion board. So let's start here. Announcements are announcements. The syllabus is syllabus. You guys got that. Let's go jump to modules. And we'll start with the first one, the prep module. Right here is where I'm going to put this video from tonight. Let me open that up again. I will put a link to it. Hold on. It's going slow. Oh, there we go. Okay. So let me make sure I have everything here. Yep. Okay, good. All right. This first module is a little wacky, but again, all of it's to read me until you get to the bottom. You can literally click through all this stuff real quick. It's, I mean, like 30 minutes maybe. This is for a lot of times for people who might be new or might be new to this campus or might not know Canvas a whole lot, but if you got it, you got it. So we'll go through it together. First things first, here's I just put a heading here. Just get your tech ready. What happens is like there's settings, right? Now that I dragged and dropped some of those calendar dates, some of you guys might get an alert that says, this due date's changed, you know, and that's cool. That's up to you in your settings, right? You might be able to get push notifications to the app on your phone. Those are things like that. So it's real quick. Which type of a Canvas learner are you, right? Again, I have 3 certifications in online teaching, but there's still stuff that I'm learning. And then Canvas, they always like polish it and change it. So I'm always learning. Set up your tech. There's all these videos. These are fantastic. Please set up a profile picture. After week 1, I start taking points off, just like 1 point here and there. I need to see your face. It's an online class. How are we supposed to engage? You can see my face. It's right there in the account. It's on everything that I put. I need to see your face. Okay. And don't do like your Pokemon costume from 2004. Please don't do that. Just, you know, we're getting upper division. Let's do shoulders up, right? Sometimes people put their husky or something like that. It's like, nah, it's not you either. I know maybe you feel today like you're husky, but not. So I also use Pronto. You might see some every once in a while. I might put like a reminder in Pronto, or let's say something like, hey, you'll see a reminder Wednesday night, don't forget 8 p.m. get that in, right? Ooh. So SCC has tech help, peer-to-peer tech help. So you're welcome to check that out. There's like chat, there's email, you can call, they will tech all everything, registration, admissions and records, everything, paying for classes, bookstore, all the stuff. And it's by students. I used to have a student in there too. This is driving me crazy. So I'm gonna edit this real quick. You see that word on that side of the border? Yeah, I do make, yeah, I have to do a hard returner here. I do make my own graphics. So let me know if they're hard to read or anything. Oh, check this out. Here's my accessibility reader. It's telling me right now that this page is not very accessible for other people. Check this out. So it's telling me my header, and again, I'm going to teach accessibility. So I'm going to show you how so I have to name this without making it an extension. Tech help header. That works. It's technically a decorative image because there's another title of it right here, peer-to-peer support, but I'll leave it like that. I'm gonna hit apply. And then it's telling me I didn't do the right headings in the right order. This is where a screen reader reads stuff. And so I'm just saying, hey, fix the heading hierarchy, and we're done. So if you guys see anything like that, let me know, and I will make sure that it's accurate. So I'm teaching accessibility. Why wouldn't I present accessibility? So again, just if you clicked next, it comes off your to-do lists. This here is like, again, like, are you new to Canvas? If not, keep going. Again, there's just links in there. Self-care is sustainability. Again, before I got here tonight, I carved out some meditation time. If you can get in 3 minutes of just relaxation and breathing and just clicking into your own body, that will help you. I didn't really sleep. I just like, but down here, we have a class called 222, which is trauma and resilience for educators. That's one of the guest speakers we wouldn't have come in. So again, this is just an interactive quiz to see how burnt out you are. And trust me, I've taken that quiz at the beginning of a semester, and I was at the highest level of burnout. And that's when I decided to start seeing a therapist. I was like, I can't start the semester at burnout. December, perhaps, but July, no. So that was me last summer. I was like, literally like, so it brings you into therapy. I was like, I'm like stressed out in the middle of summer. What the heck? So, okay, yeah, I think I looped back here a couple of times. So I'll double check that they're nuts. Okay, there. This is about me. You can read that. I'm not going to read it about you, but you've already assessed a lot of stuff about me. I've shared a lot of these things. And here's my policy and procedures. The same thing that's on the syllabus, but every once in a while, people are like, oh, but I didn't read the syllabus. Well, okay. This is new for me, this time commitment. What's happening is that people go, oh, well, it's a 12-week class, so it's like easier. No, we can't. I can't skip the information. Now, a typical 16-week class meets 3 hours a week. Now, maybe you only meet for 90 minutes and then the rest is independent. That's great. But because we're a 12-week class, we technically have 4 hours of lecture-related activity. So if you're thinking, it's taking me 4 hours to do this stuff for the module, that's the minimum amount of time. This says you will be very successful in this class if you give it a total of 12 hours per week for one class. Now, I know a lot of you are rolling your eyes and be like, oh, I can do it faster. Then do it faster. But if later you're saying this class was hard, that's my first question. Did you give it enough time? So look at, I calculated it, 16, 12, 8, 4. Yeah, it's a lot. So yeah, we're right in the middle. 12 is interesting. 12 is interesting. Some of our classes fit here nicely, beautifully. So that's an FYI. You have to read that, click off it. Then I made a little PowerPoint. Yeah, things like you need to read and do the work and things like that. Again, I put this piece in here more about Title IX, about how you are protected as a student here. And I do have 3 videos. This first one, a little trigger warning. It's pretty intense, but these last 2 are really good. They talk about consent in a very nice cartoon, and consent, like, you know, giving yes to sex stuff. And then there's a kid's version. But my reminder here is like, if you think this is amazing, you can share it with your kids. But if you're a teacher, you need to get parental consent to show consent for kids. But it's good stuff. It's good stuff. Good stuff. Academic advisement and job placement. That means here, if you are a child development major or you're not sure what your major is, and you want to talk to an advisor, we have people who are specifically just for child development. So I gave you a little video here, and you know, click through, get the resources, like see the people, ask questions, use all the stuff that we got going here on campus. It's awesome. That's why I ended up here, because there's so many different things on this campus. We have so many different programs. I can see here that I have 8 people to look at, so we're not going to look at everybody's post today, but let's look at the instructions for our first discussion board. So you're going to do a main post by Wednesday night. It's Monday. This should not take you more than an hour. Okay. I put here, you can use Adobe Creative Cloud or LibreOffice or Picasa or GIMP. Over here, we have the Creative Cloud. Students have access to that because you're a student here. We have Office 365. Again, I have a poster that I can share with you and put mine in here too. So what you're going to do is literally read through the instructions. The point here is to be able to see your image without clicking on anything. I'm going to see a little poster or a picture and explanation, right? Do not put a link. Do not put a link. If you're borrowing pictures from the internet, cite your source. It's okay. Some people are like, I love the beach. They put a random stock photo of the picture of the beach. That's fine. I'd like to see pictures of you just so we know who you are, right? So here is what I'm looking for. The subject title should be your, hi, introducing, you know, you could say, Carmen Cozumel, introducing Carmen Cozumel. It doesn't matter, right? Embed your image in documents. Do not submit as an attachment. If you submit as an attachment, I'm just going to give you a note that says, I can't grade this, right? If there's a link instead of embedded image, I won't grade it. And then if you this issue with your device, sometimes people are like, I can't do it on my phone. I know, again, I don't see the student controls, but if you're doing it on your phone, I think you start the post and then you swipe to your gallery. Can anybody confirm that with me? Look at in chat. If I ever anyone looking for experience with special ed class, we need aides at the school I work at. If you guys are interested, like reach out to Digna. Yeah, I'll show you guys how to do that. So then reply to peers and then reconnect to peers. So this one is by Wednesday. And look at, I put even a how to embed an image in discussion on Canvas. I gave you the link to the video. Reply to peers. This is by Sunday and this is by Sunday. So I do this grading right here. 5 points on the main post, 5 points to engage your peers, 5 points to reconnect to your peers. Pretty straightforward. Yeah, you guys got this. You guys can do it. If you can post to Instagram, you can do this, right? And I'm not going to show everybody's thing here, but I'm going to scroll to the bottom and see, we see posters and I'm going to hit next. Yeah, put the pictures in there that make you happy. Here is the syllabus scavenger hunt. Okay. I want to make sure that these are correct, but there's things like how many units in this class, how many chapters in this book, how many professors in this class, how many times can you cheat? Questions like that. Really super simple. If this takes you more than 30 minutes, I see, again, I'm supposed to make sure that there's 4 hours of lecture time. This is 25 points. No time limit, multiple attempts. You guys can do this by Sunday, 8 p.m. You guys could probably get it done tonight. Yeah, get that syllabus going. Next, we have academic honesty agreement. Over the course of COVID, we had a lot of people cheating and we can't do that anymore. This is really basic, but let's say I'll show you what it looks like. I want to make sure the first question was wrong on a different class. Cheating is okay. Everyone does it. False. Cheating is never okay. And no, everyone does not cheat. So things like that. Using a tutoring service to help you find the answer is okay. No, we know about Chegg. Stop it. So super easy. You guys got this. I just need to know that you have some skin in the game. That's it. Right. So 5 questions, 2 points each. It's fine. Let's see. Then next we have, and this is all due by Sunday, 8 o'clock. You guys got this. Oh, let me go back. This is just a whole module. That's just read through it if you want. I call it supportive module. So we went through this first whole module. Look at this, all this stuff. Set up your tech, self-care, blah, 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 all this business, blah, 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 all this. We went through all this. We went, these last 3 things are the only things due. I took out 2 things actually. Those are the only things that are due, 4.1, 4.2, 4.3. You guys got this by Sunday, easy, easy, easy. Now, this supportive information is really just like a folder with a bunch of junk in there, but good stuff, okay? I do talk about mindset. I like this last one. All I really needed to know, I learned in preschool or kindergarten. We talk about empathy, some external tech. I always suggest Grammarly. Speech Notes is a talk to text website if you need that for your notes. Our portfolio, we'll talk about that later. But again, spelling and grammar. Actually, let's move this down here. Grammarly, Khan Academy on there, and there. Outlines, how to outline the chapters, but I will show you what that looks like on an actual outline assignment. Self-care, this is the UCLA mindfulness app I use every single day. They have 3-minute guided meditations, they have 30-minute podcasts, all that stuff. Here's my actual yogi who's in Shape magazine, but she's a plus size or size positive yogi. Here's your self-survey. Trauma-informed practices, we'll learn more about that in 222 when you take that next semester after we meet our guest speaker. Future teacher resources. But again, use them, don't use them. Read them, don't read them. This is just supportive and use these to make your life easier or not. It's all good. So we have our first prep module. We have this supportive information. I can even move down here. Then we have chapter 1. So let's look at chapter 1. So you guys will see what everything looks like, what every module is set up exactly the same with different content, right? So every unit, I have a unit introduction. Who cares? It's just going to say these are the chapters in your unit, which is nice. Again, this setup is kind of suggested by the state chancellor's office. That's why I follow this format. 1.1 introduction. It literally says, welcome to chapter 1. Wait a sec. Thinking about exceptionalities. Why are we talking about this at all? Okay. So quick article about inclusion. You can just read through it, right? But look at this. Here's your weekly like setup. Okay. Read or watch the lecture. I have videos in there. Complete the activity or discussion board. First post by Wednesday. Final post to 2 peers by Sunday, 8 p.m. No late discussion boards after Wednesday. Okay. Upload an outline by Friday. I'll show you what that looks like. Complete the deep dive or the personal learning journal or reflection by Sunday, 8 p.m. and the chapter quiz by 8 p.m. You guys are getting more familiar with it as we go. Again, this says, hey, right up here, read me, 11:59. Click it once, you're good. You can blow them all off. It'll never show up on your grade page. It'll just show up on your to-do list. Okay, so here's the content in lecture. So you'll see this 1.2 on every module, 1.2, 2.2, 3.2, this will say content and lecture. Okay, so I have here, oh, my video is not in there. I got to put my video in there. But check this out. Here's our PowerPoint. Let's see if I can show it to you. I will make sure, because all my videos are on YouTube, I'll make sure that's in there. So some of you like to read through the PowerPoints while you're watching the video, right? So this is all PowerPoint stuff, all PowerPoint, 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 blah, 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 PowerPoint, okay? But if you want just the PDF, here's that too. Sometimes that's easier for people to read. It looks similar, but sometimes your phone or your device doesn't read one or the other. I will make sure that there is a video in there for chapter 1. Yeah, it's pretty straightforward. Now, again, you guys can interact with the chapter anywhere that's good for you. Are you a visual learner, auditory learner, kinesthetic learner? Sometimes I put stuff on just so I could hear it as I'm like cleaning the kitchen or something like that. And maybe it's not the first time I listen to it, but if after I read it and then I listen to it, it kind of gets in better. Like I'm a visual learner, but my auditory is like backup. It's super awesome. So this is what an outline looks like, outline or notes. Okay, and I call this the what, so what, now what format. So outline is like what are we learning, right? Super basic, okay? I put the benefits and options, okay? You may do a Roman numeral traditional outline. That is a video on how to do it in Word, okay? You can do a bulleted list in Google Docs. That's your option, okay? You can do handwritten notes like this and upload a picture. You can do Cornell notes. There's like a little grid that you do and that you, whatever. That's a 1-page situation. Mind map, right? You could draw the main idea or the main idea of the chapter and all the terms. They go out like kind of like a spider web, or you could do a lotus or a tree or like a spiral or a flow chart, however. And visual note taking is another option too. And if you have another format, let me know. I have people who are graphic designers and they want to do it like that. I'm good with that. The rubric basically says it's 10 points, 4 points for accuracy. Give me the correct stuff. Don't, every once in a while somebody will upload their anthropology notes. I'm like, wrong class, it's fine. 4 points for the appropriate length. If you give me half the, like again, typed 2 pages, handwritten 4 pages, mind map at least 1 in color. Okay. And again, I also drop the lowest outline at the end of the semester. Pretty straightforward. If you have questions, let me know. Do it Sunday at 8, pretty straightforward. I have a rubric on the side, but this is pretty much it right here. Make sense? Okay, question. We'll be leaving, Zaira. No worries, no worries. Let me know if there's, watch the end of the video and let me know if you have any questions. Anytime. You guys need to bail, that's cool. Just watch the end of the video when I post it. It takes me about an hour to get it up into Canvas. Our activity and discussion board for chapter 1, pretty straightforward. You're going to read this one article from Edutopia, and it's about teaching strategies that support students' individuality. This first chapter is on what are we thinking about? Why are we thinking about exceptionalities? And then you're going to take this little quiz by Harvard's Project Implicit. It has basically keystrokes, and it helps you answer questions really quick, and then it'll tell you if you have a bias. Now, I'm not here to say you have a bias and you're bad. We all have bias. We all have bias. We all have bias. And it's okay. I just, guys, want you to be able to identify that and discuss it. It's not the end of the world. I honestly think that I mean, again, I'm the mother of a boy, and seeing him grow up side by side with like little girls and watching how little girls are so mature so fast, that's my bias. I mean, by second grade, girls were like matching H to T, and boys were still like wearing pajamas, picking their nose and playing grab ass. It was like these girls are in line with their sparkling whatever folder, and these guys are like little creatures. I have that bias. It's not bad. I find it very, very true. And you know what? If I were mad about that, that'd be different. Maybe if I acted on that bias, that'd be different. But I'm like, that's normal. Right? Makes sense? Yeah. And our society sort of supports that. And you know, it's not always true, but that's how I see it. So again, you're going to do is put this big section in. You're going to do all this stuff. 1, 2, 3. And then at the end, you're just going to write, what did you think of that test? What were your results? If you want to share, did you agree or disagree? Trust me, there are several tests on this Harvard project implicit. In fact, I'll click it once. There's social attitudes, implicit health. There's some other ones in here, but you guys have to kind of like dig for them. There was one about gay people, and my best friend's gay, and it said like you have a little bias against gay people. I was like, oof, not exactly, but okay, maybe. So you know what? Let me now was talking about. Ooh, that's interesting. This is race and weapons. Yeah, there was this is implicit bias right here. So yeah, let me look at this. Yeah, so poke around that one. Take a test. Let's see what else is there. Yeah. It's basically saying, you know, it's not the end of the world. Just, you know, see what else is out there. Go through it. Yeah. And then again, PS, you can do another one if you want to do extra credit, and then you just have to turn it in separately. But please be sensitive. Some people are like really angry or really, you know, hot, but we're adults here, right? We can discuss this. So you reply to peers, and then you reconnect to the peers. Yeah, 5 points for the main post by Wednesday. 5 posts engaging peers, 5 points for reconnecting to peers. I like to give extra credit on this. If you're awesome, you do extra, you do more than 2 and 2 and 2. Yeah, I can give you 17, maybe 20. Show me what you got. Yeah. Lastly, this is our reflection journal. Told you, I do what? What are we doing? We're writing notes. What are we learning about? So what is actually no, I think so what is actually our discussion board, and then this now what is our reflection. So I will change that. But again, you have 3 parts here. Reflect on what you have learned, 5 to 10 sentences. Please separate these 3, 1, 2, 3 by paragraphs. So I know you did your 5 to 10 sentences. Number 2, find an additional resource. Give me the link. Don't say I read one time like 6 years ago this article in People magazine about like Kim Kardashian's dog who may be special needs. Like, if that's the case, find me the source file, share the link. Okay. Lastly, so what will you do with this information? Yeah. So again, in the future or now, what are you going to do with this information? If you don't personally connect with this information, why are you doing it? I give you some hints. Ask yourself, what did I learn? What do I want to know more about? What can I do with this information? Here's some suggestions. You can look up an article. You can look up a website, a podcast, a book, a YouTube, TED Talk, rap lyrics. Doesn't matter to me. I want to see what you see, because you see things differently than I see, and I want to see everybody's differently things. Yeah. Again, 5 points each for 1, 2, and 3. Again, I put in here, you can be late. Just let me know. Got it? Due by Sunday, 8 p.m. What? And that's it. That is it for the module. However, I do have extra stuff in there if it just floats your boat. So again, here's our course information. Start here. Boom. Chapter 1 looks like this. We went through all of this. Well, I'm sorry, let me make this smaller. This is the prep. It got big for a second. There we go. Make that small. Chapter 1 looks like this. Here's our outline. Here's our discussion board. Here's our reflection journal. Then you have a quiz. It's 10 points. Shall I show you what it looks like? No problem. Due Sunday, 8 o'clock. Let's look at this preview. Let's make sure all the questions are good. You can write down the answers really quick. Here's the question. I won't show you the answers. Perceptions and attitudes this is true or false. Perceptions and attitudes influence how individuals in society respond to disabilities and abilities. People who are disabled are considered a part of a minority group. Children with disabilities have always been included in public school. You guys get it? This is the quiz. It's easy. You guys got this. Some people have already just, I do know some students will start with the quiz and work backwards. That's cool. Some people go, okay, if I do go on the quiz, then I'm not gonna do the rest of the stuff. Your choice. I'm down. Yeah. So let's go back to modules. That's it for the week. Can you get the stuff done by Sunday? Yeah, you can. The prep stuff, get that stuff out of the way first. You can get that done in like an hour, right? So our modules always look like this: introduction to the unit, then introduction to the module lecture. Here's our weekly assignments. Here's your assessment. Optional feedback, I give about 3 points, maybe 5. Keep this, tweak this, or toss this. But look down here, I put a bunch of jazz. You can read through all that, watch all these things, or not. Some of these are backups from the lecture because sometimes the link inside the PowerPoint sucks. So I put it in like this. Yes, and I added drug history on purpose. Yeah. Additional supportive information, other things that are awesome. Again, I'm not here to withhold any information. If you want to watch all this stuff, cool. If you don't, then don't. But I do suggest watch all these on YouTube. Make a YouTube folder. I have one that says watch later. I have one that says 205 or 202. All this stuff is in there. Then you can watch it later. Yeah. It's awesome stuff. Okay. So look at this. Look at that. We have 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Like again, 6, 9, 11. That's out of order. 7, 8, 10, 15 out of order. Then 12, 13, 14. Yeah. Look at all that. It's all this. Look at this. Even chapter 14, I got a bunch of stuff. Yeah. So there was a woman who went through Harvard who was deaf and blind. But, and then we'll all do end of term assignments next week. Maybe after a quiz, maybe after the first exam. The PSA and the film analysis, super easy. You guys are gonna do it. Perfect. So look at all this stuff. It's already here. It's all ready to go for you. I will double check some of those little tweakies that I mentioned, but we got this going on. It's all here ready for you. I'm giving you my best because I think people who want to learn this stuff are already the best. Fair? I'm gonna leave us with one video because it's 8 o'clock. I'm gonna be respectful of your time. But I want to show you one video because it'll give you an example of why I put so much stuff in the bottom. And let's see what I can do here. This is a really quick tag talk, very quick one. So let's see if I can do a new share here. And I'm going to share the sound and optimize for video clip. I'm going to do this one. Rita Pierce, you may have seen this one, but she's fantastic. She says every child needs a champion. Click out of some of these so we're not like taking any bandwidth. And remember, when you're watching a video, they're going to give you suggestions. Use that for an additional resource. So let me turn this on.
I have spent my entire life either at the schoolhouse, on the way to the schoolhouse, or talking about what happens in the schoolhouse. Both my parents were educators. My maternal grandparents were educators. And for the past 40 years, I've done the same thing. And so needless to say, over those years, I've had a chance to look at education reform from a lot of perspectives. Some of those reforms have been good, some of them have been not so good. And we know why kids drop out. We know why kids don't learn. It's either poverty, low attendance, negative peer influences. We know why. But one of the things that we never discuss, or we rarely discuss, is the value and importance of human connection. Relationships. James Comer says that no significant learning can occur without a significant relationship. George Washington Carver says all learning is understanding relationships. Everyone in this room has been affected by a teacher or an adult. For years, I have watched people teach. I have looked at the best and I've looked at some of the worst. A colleague said to me one time, they don't pay me to like the kids. They pay me to teach a lesson. The kids should learn it. I should teach it. They should learn it. Case closed. Well, I said to her, you know, kids don't learn from people they don't like. She said, that's just a bunch of hooey. And I said to her, well, your year is going to be long and arduous, dear. Needless to say, it was. Some people think that you can either have it in you to build a relationship or you don't. I think Stephen Covey had the right idea. He said you ought to just throw in a few simple things, like seeking first to understand as opposed to being understood. Simple things like apologizing. You ever thought about that? Tell a kid you're sorry, they're in shock. I taught a lesson once on ratios. I'm not real good with math, but I was working on it. And I got back and looked at that teacher edition. I taught the whole lesson wrong. So I came back to class the next day and I said, look, guys, I need to apologize. I taught the whole lesson wrong. I'm so sorry. They said, that's okay, Miss Pearson. You were so excited. We just let you go.
Don't have to be.
I have had classes that were so low, so academically deficient that I cried. I wondered, how am I going to take this group in 9 months from where they are to where they need to be? And it was difficult. It was awfully hard. How do I raise the self-esteem of a child and his academic achievement at the same time? One year I came up with a bright idea. I told all my students, you were chosen to be in my class because I am the best teacher and you are the best students. They put us all together so we could show everybody else how to do it. One of the students said, really? I said, really? We have to show the other classes how to do it. So when we walk down the hall, people will notice us. So you can't make noise. You just have to strut. And I gave him a saying to say, I am somebody. I was somebody when I came. I'll be a better somebody when I leave. I am powerful and I am strong. I deserve the education that I get here. I have things to do, people to impress, and places to go. And they said, yeah. You say it long enough, it starts to be a part of you. And so I gave a quiz, 20 questions. Student missed 18. I put a +2 on this paper and a big smiley face. He said, Miss Pearson, is this an F? I said, yes. He said, then why'd you put a smiley face? I said, because you on the roll. You got 2 right, you didn't miss them all. I said, and when we review this, won't you do better? He said, yes, ma'am, I can do better. You see, -18 sucks all the life out of you. +2 said, I ain't all bad. For years, I watched my mother take the time at recess to review, go on home visits in the afternoon, buy combs and brushes and peanut butter and crackers to put in her desk drawer for kids that needed to eat, and a washcloth and some soap for the kids who didn't smell so good. See, it's hard to teach kids who stink. And kids can be cruel. And so she kept those things in her desk, and years later, after she retired, I watched some of those same kids come through and say to her, you know, Miss Walker, you made a difference in my life. You made it work for me. You made me feel like I was somebody when I knew at the bottom I wasn't. And I want you to just see what I've become. And when my mama died 2 years ago at 92, there were so many former students at her funeral. It brought tears to my eyes, not because she was gone, but because she left a legacy of relationships that could never disappear. Can we stand to have more relationships? Absolutely. Will you like all your children? Of course not. And you know your toughest kids are never absent. Never. You won't like them all, and the tough ones show up for a reason. It's the connection, it's the relationships. And while you won't like them all, the key is they can never, ever know it. So teachers become great actors and great actresses, and we come to work when we don't feel like it, and we listen to policy that doesn't make sense, and we teach anyway. We teach anyway because that's what we do. Teaching and learning should bring joy. How powerful would our world be if we had kids who were not afraid to take risks, who were not afraid to think, and who had a champion? Every child deserves a champion, an adult who will never give up on them, who understands the power of connection and insists that they become the best that they can possibly be. Is this job tough? You betcha. Oh God, you betcha. But it is not impossible. We can do this. We're educators. We're born to make a difference. Thank you so much.
She's amazing, 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 amazing. And, you know, did she say, let's be excellent for the typically developed children? No, that applies to all children, all children. So those are some of the things that I put in the bottom. So again, 100% optional. Sometimes they just are the milk to your cereal, baby. Trust me. You know, hearing messages like that helps us get through. So we did Canvas, we did the syllabus, we went through everything that's due this week. What else can I answer for you guys? This is past 8. I was only really going to go to 8. I really didn't put an end cap on it, but what else can I answer for you? Let's do this. I'm going to end the recording, just in case you guys have any questions that kind of squirrel out, but I will post this. It'll start kind of processing in the background.